Hello, world, and today this is Talking Live with a tribute to September 11.
We've forgotten how it used to be when I was there for you, and brother, you were there for me, and the common good was what we had in common. Have we forgotten? Have we forgotten? Have we forgotten?
Hello, I'm glad you tuned in today. We are recording this show for the day for the September 11th that happened 22 years ago. It don't seem long that it's happened, that it's been a long time, but it's been a long time, but I'm afraid of the way that things are going today that we might have another September 11 or worse. Today I want to give a tribute to all the men and women that lost their lives in this Twin Towers, even the animals. It was so bad that I heard yesterday the last canine dog that was sniffing out people and trying to find the survivors. It died yesterday. And so we hope every one of you can remember what happened on that September 11th. I remember when I was in Boca watching TV in the morning that I saw those planes coming toward the Twin Towers. And I thought I couldn't figure it out. What is going on here? And then I looked, and the news report come on that a plane had hit the Pentagon, hit the towers, and on the way, there was terrorists on the plane to hit the White House. And so the brave people on that day fought off the terrorists on that plane that was going to hit the White House. They fought them off, and they caused the plane to crash before it got to the White House. And see, people have forgot. You have forgot what happened, and you stand back and you just don't do nothing about these people coming on over across the border. You don't stand up to our government and tell them to put a stop to this. We don't need no another September 11. I heard them say, oh, September 11 was like January the 6th, that when the people went toward the Congress and the Capitol. But it was not. September 11 was a horrible day for America. You know, I remember people on the news, and I remember people being afraid of this terrorist thing that happened. They thought it was an invasion of our country, and they were scared. People were scared to death. You know, I was coming back from Florida, and I called some people that I know, my bookkeeper. He said, oh, they are afraid a terrorist going to hit some other places, and be careful where you go in a big city because they're coming after America. They're invading our country. See, that's what's happening now. They're invading our country. We don't know what's coming in our country. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few days or the next year or the next hour. We don't know. And for them to say January the 6th was the same as September 11th, that's the biggest crock I've ever heard in my life. Remember it. Just remember the day. Do you remember where you were when this happened? Do you remember what you were doing? And do you remember how much fear and sorrow and things in your mind went through? Things that went through your mind. Are we going to die? Is America getting invaded? Well, it's happening now, but it's not happening that way. We're being invaded right now. We have enemies coming across our border every day. And nobody's doing nothing but sitting back and saying it's in control. This is a horrible thing. Thousands of people died. This is a horrible thing. And they had the nerve. They had the hate enough to kill people on the plane and die themselves. Those same kind of people are coming across our border today. This should be a lesson to America, but America has forgot. You have forgot what you see on the screen. You have forgot all this, haven't you? And you stand by, and as we know, it goes back to Joe Biden, letting all these people come into this country and turning them loose on our country. I don't understand how anybody could have confidence in a man that would do our country this way. I don't, after September 11th, it's an experience and a reality. It's a fact. It really happened. It was not no dream. It was not a vision. It was an actual attack on America. It was an actual terrorists that hate our country enough to die to destroy us. That was a fact. And those kind of people are coming across the border every day. Some worse than others. You know, the way a country is destroyed, it's usually within it. I'm talking about the willingness to let things go and let things like this happen. I know it's always a possibility for someone to slip in this country and do the same thing and worse. Do you remember? Can you know how you felt? Do you remember how you felt that day? I was sitting on my sofa in my den. I was watching this, and I seen this plane, and it was circling. And all of a sudden, it just run into the towers. You remember that? What did you think? Where was your mind? Where did your mind go when you seen this? How about that chill of fear that come up your spine? Do you remember that? Can you see this flame in this building and these people? And still people sick from this. It didn't just kill the people in the tower. It's killing people today. Even the dogs that was there like soldiers to track down survivors. They were even there. And it's even taken their life, put a short life on them. We got a short life after it happened. These people that was heroes and went in and they went in that flame and they went through that rubble and they went through all that and they got contaminated with all that. Do you remember? Have you forgot? That should make you want to just screech and be terrified of what's going on today. And that was back when we did have some kind of protection with our president, with George Bush. I didn't like George much, but I think that he was on the ball about trying to protect the country. I don't think this happened because of his carelessness. And I'm not saying that because he was a Republican. I'm saying that even though I didn't like the guy, his policies and things he did do. Of course, I don't like a lot of them. I mean, I'm talking Democrat, Republican. He wasn't responsible. It's our security that people are not looking out for. It's our security that our congressmen and our senators are not looking out for us. We got all these senators, they have votes, but they vote for what party they are. They don't vote for what our protection and our well-being is. Same thing in the House. It's disgusting to look at something like this and just brush it off and forget it. Have you forgot World War I and II and Korean War and the Vietnam War? Have you forgot all that too? People, Americans, sticking together and fighting for our country, for somebody to take office and let the possibility that this could happen again even worse. Can you imagine how those people felt when that plane run into that place, into those Twin Towers? Can you imagine being in that building? It's either jump out all these hundreds of stories. I don't remember exactly how tall they were. It's either that or burn alive. Can you imagine these people? Can you imagine all those people that suffered in those buildings and died because of carelessness of our security? And now there's no security. It's just a matter of time when something like this or worse is going to happen. A matter of time. Countries all over the world, they don't love us. I know that our government gives them money, but that ain't going to make them care. That ain't going to make them care a bit. They could do the same thing and worse. They don't care what you do for them. Remember the words guy told me. He said, kindness to some people is a sign of weakness. And America is too kind to other countries. They are too suck up to other countries. But they can let our veterans go to crap, live in a shack or live on the side of the road. They can let our children starve. They can let our veterans be homeless. They can let those that are sick and afflicted, that worked hard, the old people have worked hard all their life and put back money to retire on and steal and then take it away from them. September 11 was hell for America. In that one spot, I remember watching movies about terrorists blowing up different places, just running down the street and throwing hand grenades in businesses and trying to kill American people. That's coming. I believe it's coming. I believe the day is coming, September 11th, is not going to be nothing compared because of what we got in office. And I compare September 11th by seeing these people that was on those planes had run into the Twin Towers. Those were just a few people. And they rather died just to destroy thousands of Americans. And right now, there's some out there right now. If they had the opportunity, they'd go to your ball games. They'd go everywhere. If they get that opportunity, and they would blow up these ball games if they had the opportunity. And those kind of people out there, don't think they ain't. And it's set back. Our strategic oil has been sold off to our enemy. These people that blowed up these towers were our enemy. They hate us so bad. You take Iran. They hate us so bad. If they could push a button and destroy us and Israel, they would. And they can't destroy Israel till they get rid of America. But the fact is, they can't destroy Israel because they're the chosen people that God made before us Gentiles. And God is not going to let no nation, so get this in your head, all you haters of Israel, there's no way you can destroy Israel because God will intervene. He will intervene. He has to. He don't break his word. He don't lie. They are still God's chosen people. But Jesus made it us a road and an opportunity to be able to have hope. And all this going on, like, see this man, these people walking around. Can you imagine how they thought? What's going on? What they were thinking. And then there's, we got an administration that wants to take our guns away. We got an administration that, knowing this happened, they want to take our guns away. Knowing that we can't protect ourselves, wouldn't be able to protect ourselves. And this is not getting out of the subject. This is part of what happened that can happen. Don't ever think nothing can happen that you imagine. The only thing, one thing that can't happen, God cannot lie. That's the only thing in this world today that can't happen. That God can't lie. What he said is settled. It's going to happen the way he said it, and ain't nothing we can do about it. But there are things we can do to prolong the things that happen. There are prayers that we can pray that this don't happen again. See, for one day, 1 hour, few hours, God took his hand away from the Twin Towers and let it happen. And America has forgot. I mean, you got people, veterans, and the people that suffered in that tragic accident. They hadn't forgotten. See, people forget when tragic happens. After it's over, they have a tendency to forget what happened. They forget it. They get all involved with the world again, and they forget what happened. I remember it. I got a picture right beside me right here to remind me every day of what happened. It's in this studio, and I see it every day that I walk in this studio, and I remember September 11th. And I think about what happened on that day. We need something to jog our memory in life, to make us feel more grateful and more thankful that we got this far without something like this happening again. But I tell you what, well, what's going on nowadays with the border, with the suck up to China, and always talking about Russia. You know what? Russia's not our threat. Iran's our threat. North Korea, China is our next threat. And all those that are coming across the border that hate us and hate, you know, other countries are jealous of America. Not seeing all of them in there. And see, we run to everybody's rescue that has a disaster, but nobody did. How many countries come to our rescue on September 11th? I don't remember any. Of course, it's been a while, but I can't remember one country that come to our rescue. I don't. But everything that happens to disaster, America piles the money over to them and lets our own people go hungry. That's our old people, our veterans. And our people is the one was there on that day praying and hoping that they could find a survivor. American people are the greatest people in the world, and they're the biggest suckers to let our government give all our taxes away. The biggest suckers in the whole world is American people, because they let our government risk our lives and give our money, tax money, away to other countries that hate our guts. Remember these guys that was on these planes, man. Do you hate anybody so much that you'd get on a plane and just to kill them? You know, just to kill them and give your life just to kill and dream about going to all those virgins. Going up there is going to be with all them virgins because you destroyed and murdered thousands of people. If your God is that kind of God, then there ain't no God. But we know there's one God, one Son of God, one Holy Ghost, and one power above all. Not talking about religion, but just telling the facts. 2,000 years I've been hearing about Jesus since I was a little boy and I could understand. And you know, he died for those people that died on there. He died for the people, the pilots was on there, but they hated. He might have died for them, but he wasn't for them. But they murdered people, innocent people, because they hate our guts. They hate. And, you know, and I can't believe that our government can let Chinese people come in here and buy up our property. I can't believe that our government, our politicians will let a drug company, pharmaceutical company, go overseas and trust our enemy to make our medicine. And you know what? It's all about the dollar. Those people that blowed up that tower, they were here because our government sucked up to their government. And that's how they got here. There are good people in America that come from other countries. They don't love America, but they love their country better than they love America. If they could go back to a free society like America, they would go back because they love their country. I talked to a lot of Cubans, a lot of people that run from dictators, and every one of them said, I love my country. Believe me, I've talked. You take a guy from Israel. I got a friend from Israel. He has a home here in Houston. He goes back to Israel, but he comes over here to do business because he loves his country and he appreciates this country. And his son, and many of him's going to do a show one of these days when he gets it together. And we're going to talk about the issues in Israel and all that. But see, right now we're talking about September 11th. How that we're hated so much. And 22 years ago, we were hated, but today we're hated even worse. Vietnam, Biden's over kissing up to them. It's all right to do business with them, buy their products. But don't let them get a hold of you. Don't let them get you where you can't move and you have to depend on them. It's all right to buy from China, Russia, whatever, but don't never let them get a hold of you where you can't get loose from them. Like a movie, Heat, Robert De Niro said never take on nothing that you can't walk away from. Biden, all you politicians, walk away from sucking up to these foreign countries and quit taking a chance on something like this happening again and worse. God bless you.
Thank you all. I want you all to know you can't go any louder. I want you all to know that America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City and New Jersey and Connecticut as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you! I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon. The nation sends its love and compassion. God bless America! To everybody who is here. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for making the nation proud. And may God bless America. Have we forgotten?
Thanks for joining us today. To watch this show again, be sure to visit talkinlive.com. We now have Roku and Amazon Fire TV channels for you to watch from your home TV. Or find more of our recent shows on most any of your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, world. We will be talking live with you next time.
To join the conversation, call 706-935-TALK. We are talking live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on all of your favorite streaming platforms.